Today on Soccer Sphere, we'll be discussing some exciting news. The shoes are tied, the vest is off, but Garnacho won't be playing against his former club. Many say it's because of the pressure from Man United fans, but Maresca finally spoke out, and the reason is far different from what was expected. Meanwhile, Ruben Amorim brings a breath of fresh air to Old Trafford. MU played ferociously, full of aggression, and left Chelsea reeling. This isn't about complicated tactics. Amorim just wants one thing: guts. But on the other hand, bad news came from Spain. Marcus Rashford, who has only scored 2 goals for Barca, was even punished by Hansi Flick for arriving late. Yes, the old illness is back again, and this time, there's no mercy. For more information, watch the video. We also have equally exciting football news, so stay tuned to the end to find out. Welcome to Soccer Sphere. Don't forget to subscribe and activate the bell to get the latest updates. Maresca speaks out about Garnacho's cancellation from playing against Manchester United. A heated match was played at Old Trafford last weekend. Chelsea had to concede defeat to Manchester United by a narrow score of 2-1 in a tense match that also saw red cards from both sides. But there was one moment that quite caught the attention, not about a goal, not about a red card, but about Alejandro Garnacho. Yup, Garnacho, the young Argentinian player who was recently brought from Man United to Chelsea last summer for a fee of £40 million, was seen warming up and ready to come onto the field. The shoes were tied, the vest was off, and he stood at the edge of the field, just waiting for the signal. But that change never happened. Garnacho's name remained on the bench until the final whistle blew. Suddenly, many people wondered, what's really going on? In fact, rumors emerged that Garnacho was shaken by the taunting chants from the home fans. Well, Chelsea coach Enzo Maresca has finally spoken out. And the answer was quite surprising. Garnacho's cancellation wasn't due to fan pressure, but rather an emergency situation in the back line. Maresca explained, Garnacho is ready to come on. But suddenly, Wesley Fofana signaled that he couldn't continue the match. We had to prioritize that substitution first. As a result, instead of Garnacho, it was Tariq George and Malo Gusto who came on. A purely technical decision, not due to pressure from the stands. So far, Garnacho is indeed still struggling to break into the Blues' first team. After making his debut in a 2-2 draw against Brentford and briefly appearing in the Champions League against Bayern, the 21-year-old has not yet secured regular playing time. But Maresca gave a positive signal: the opportunity will come. With Chelsea's super busy schedule, Garnacho is guaranteed to get more time to adapt and show off his skills. So, for Chelsea fans and maybe even United fans who are still curious, don't worry. Garnacho's story at Stamford Bridge has just begun. And who knows, the next heated duel might just be his first big stage. Amorim's powerful recipe. New aggressiveness and mentality between you will subdue Chelsea. Old Trafford is roaring again. It's not just about the final score, but also about the new spirit and energy shown by the Red Devils. Yes, Manchester United is finally back in top form, and this time, the victim is Chelsea. After a painful defeat in the Manchester Derby, coach Ruben Amorim didn't stand still. He demands one thing from his team: aggressiveness and a steel mentality. And that message wasn't just delivered in words, it was truly translated onto the field. A quick flashback: after losing to City, Amorim and Bruno Fernandes agreed. MU was too passive, not brave enough to press, especially in 2 vital zones: their own penalty box and the opponent's. Fortunately, Amorim got a rare gift this week. No Champions League schedule, no Carabao Cup. What does that mean? A full week at Carrington for training and total evaluation. And the result? They played brilliantly against Chelsea at home, even though it was pouring rain. From the first whistle, United immediately pressed. And just 5 minutes in, Robert Sanchez was shown a red card, the result of relentless pressure. Amorim said that MU needed guts to press from the start, and that's what they showed. United's first goal, born from high pressure. A mad cut into Caicedo's space, Mbeumo won the duel against Chalobah, and the loose ball was pounced on by Bruno. Goal! Second goal, just as aggressive. Luke Shaw came up, won the duel, sent the ball to Case Moreau, and the tap-in nestled into Chelsea's net. Even the celebration was heated. Shaw had a brief argument with Enzo Fernandez. This isn't just a game, it's a battle of mentalities. But that aggressiveness also comes with risks. Case Moreau had to take an early shower after being shown 2 yellow cards in the first half. MU also had to hold on with 10 players for over 45 minutes. But it's precisely here that Amorim is proud. Because aggression isn't just about attacking, it's also about fighting tooth and nail to survive. Protecting one's own area as if one's life depended on it. Shaw and Maguire were solid. De Ligt dominated the duels, and Euro, who was previously in the spotlight at the Etihad, showed his class this time. Although Chelsea briefly narrowed the score through Chalobah, Man United remained steadfast until the end. Amorim said this victory isn't just about numbers in the standings, but about a change in mindset. Tim began to understand what was being asked, to be brave enough to take risks, to be brave enough to duel, and to perform as a unified, victory-hungry force. This is just the first step, said Amorim. But clearly, this is a promising step. Old Trafford is once again a place where opposing teams fear to come, and United is starting to have a new DNA. Aggressive, disciplined, and ready to fight. 1 week of training, 1 change in mentality, and 1 victory that could be the turning point of the season. Old injury flares up. Rashford penalized for Flick because of same action at Manchester United. Marcus Rashford is back in the spotlight, but unfortunately, not for his brilliant performances on the field. Rather, for a recurring old problem. Yes, the old illness has returned, lateness. In fact, just a few days ago, Rashford put in a brilliant performance with Barcelona. He scored 2 important goals when the Blaugrana defeated Newcastle in the Champions League. But just a few days later, his name was suddenly missing from the starting 11 in the La Liga match against Getafe. Why? Because he arrived late for the morning briefing, and coach Hansi Flick didn't mince words. Without much compromise, Rashford was immediately dropped from the starting lineup and had to settle for a spot on the bench. His position was also taken by Ferran Torres. Flick is firm, very firm. This isn't the first time the German coach has imposed disciplinary sanctions. Previously, players like Kound, Rafinha, and Inaki Peña have also received similar punishments. For Flick, the rules apply to everyone, star or not. But what makes this situation even more interesting is this isn't the first time Rashford has made a mistake like this. We are invited to look back at the 2022-23 season when he was still at Manchester United. At that time, Erik ten Hag also made a similar decision. Rashford was benched for the match against Wolves because, yup, he was late for the team meeting. The reason? Fell asleep. However, Rashford was able to redeem himself at the time. He came on in the second half and scored the winning goal for MU. Ten Hag called it an internal disciplinary issue and hoped Rashford could learn from the experience. Rashford himself admitted guilt at the time, spoke honestly, and didn't try to defend himself. But now, the same situation has happened again, only with a different uniform. The question is, why does this habit repeat itself? Is this about time management, lack of professionalism, or just a trivial mistake that happened to be repeated at the wrong time? Clearly, Flick has sent a strong message. No matter how great your performance was last week, if you break the rules, you won't play. And this could be an important moment of reflection for Rashford. For a player of Rashford's caliber, discipline is everything. Talent alone isn't enough, especially at a club as big as Barcelona. Hopefully, this will be the last time we hear of Rashford being punished for this kind of thing. Because what fans are waiting for is a goal celebration, not news about delays.